From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Tonight, 6 years after the removal of 370, why I believe and Republic believes there should never be the restoration of statehood in the imminent future for Jammu and Kashmir. At 8:30 p.m. tonight, the only network following the Anil Ambani scam, or rather the Anil Ambani scandal, how has the junior Ambani got into such big trouble? And at 9 p.m. tonight, how Modi is taking on Trump and how Modi and India are going to defeat Trumponomics. And ladies and gentlemen, there has been a buzz, I repeat, a buzz about imminent statehood for Jammu and Kashmir. Nothing official about it, nothing official, but there have been all these kind of headlines doing the rounds on the eve of yet another anniversary of the abrogation of 370 that Jammu and Kashmir could get imminent statehood, which I believe is a terrible idea, but some have written that J&K statehood to be restored. Buzz grows as Prime Minister and Amit Shah meet the President. Others are saying government meetings sparked the buzz of J&K statehood. The buzz is because the President has met both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah recently. And there's also been this talk, and these are the meetings which have happened. And nobody's been told a schedule for the meetings, a reason for the meetings. There is no PIB release about what was discussed in the meeting, so people are reading a lot into it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the buzz is also because of an apparent closeness between Omar Abdullah and the centre. The Prime Minister praised Omar Abdullah while he was jogging in Sabarmati, and then Omar Abdullah also went, to Gujarat, spent some time there, and himself tweeted after that while he was being praised by the Prime Minister. So people put two and two together and said that Omar Abdullah is going to get what he wants, which is statehood for Jammu and Kashmir. But Omar Abdullah himself tweeted that that is not happening. He tweeted, "I've heard every possible permutation and combination about what to expect in Jammu and Kashmir tomorrow, so let me stick my neck out and say nothing will happen tomorrow." That is today. That's just a gut feeling. Let's see this time tomorrow. Well, Omar Abdullah, you're right. Nothing has happened. There is no statehood. And hence you could be asking, if there's no statehood, why are we discussing it? It's because, ladies and gentlemen, so many mistakes have been made in the context of Jammu and Kashmir. I'm a firm believer there should not have been elections in Jammu and Kashmir. It was premature. We should have been dealing, and I have stuck my neck out. We should be dealing with an iron hand. There should be a stronger presence of the armed forces, of the paramilitary there. The Jammu and Kashmir police has always failed to trust the Jammu and Kashmir police, to trust a state government like the Omar Abdullah government, when you know that Omar Abdullah himself takes a line very often which is convenient to him, but which is not convenient at a national level, and he plays the same political game, maybe in a milder form than what his father Farooq Abdullah has played, or his predecessor Mehbooba Mufti played. It's the same soft separatism game. And ladies and gentlemen, therefore I believe that we must remember that you had elections in Jammu and Kashmir, and then you had the Pahalgam attack. And these are the same people, Omar Abdullah, Mehbooba Mufti, Hurriyat, these are the same people who will then say the abrogation of 370 brought nothing. Here are 10 reasons, I believe, why statehood should not be reinstated in Jammu and Kashmir. Reason number one, ladies and gentlemen, national security comes first. We all saw what happened in Pahalgam. We compromised our national security by bringing in the Omar Abdullah government, and that you saw what happened. Secondly, you don't need it because legislative powers are already in place. You've had a 64% turnout. You have public, health, land, agriculture, the urban territory, already controls them. There is no need to put security in the hands of Omar Abdullah or any state government for that matter. Thirdly, most importantly, statehood has failed Jammu and Kashmir in the 1990s. There were 70,000 terrorist incidents till 2017. We had 13,976 civilians killed. 5,123 soldiers lost their lives. That is when there was statehood. Fourth, Jammu and Kashmir needs stabilization. You need a period of calm and strong security measures in place in Jammu and Kashmir. Also, terrorist threats are very active. There have been so many infiltration attempts. The government or army can say anything. But the fact is, Pahalgam was proof that the counter-terror operations of the security forces are far from complete. This is not a time to change track. Overground workers and their networks are still very, very much intact. 3,700 OGWs were arrested post-Pahalgam. Is that not proof that the terrorist threat is so real, so strong? Cross-border infiltration is unabated. There have been 45 infiltration attempts, 180 drone sightings, multiple terror threats recorded in May alone. Let's not fool ourselves that you need to give statehood. Public order must stay with the center. If we have premature statehood, we risk repeating the history. But most importantly, we cannot risk a separatist surge. Do we want this Yasin, Malik, Masrat Alam, Shabir Shah, Asia Andrabi all lodged in Tihar jail? Do we want them out? Do we want them fighting elections? Do we want the Hurriyat conference to regroup? Do we want them to take the cover of a political party? No, we don't. That's a real threat. So, ladies and gentlemen, I continue to make a point here that the mistake of the Modi government was that they had elections in Jammu and Kashmir under pressure from the Supreme Court. The Modi government should not have agreed. Not have agreed. Article 355 obligates the union to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbance. Using that, the Modi government should not have relented to pressure from the Supreme Court and allowed elections. But the Modi government allowed elections, and you had elections on 7th October 2024. You had the Pahalgam attack on 22nd April 2025, 198 days after the state elections. Tell me, do you agree with me? Did elections in Jammu and Kashmir solve anything? No. Will statehood to Jammu and Kashmir solve anything? No. It will only complicate things. Let's debate.
Tiranga at Lal Chowk. Tiranga rally in parts of Kashmir. An election and a government in power. While Jammu and Kashmir was getting on its way to normalcy, enemy across the border plotted a terror attack to push back the union territory in isolation.
टूरिज्म से जम्मू कश्मीर के गरीबों के घर चलते हैं, उसको पाकिस्तान ने निशाना बनाया। पाकिस्तान की साजिश इन सबको तबाह करने की थी।
A terror attack that shook not just India but the entire world, followed by Operation Sindoor, India's zero tolerance response. But it does not stop here. Since Operation Sindoor, Jammu and Kashmir Police and Indian Armed Forces have launched multiple anti-terror operations. Even Omar Abdullah couldn't ask for statehood in the face of a terror attack like Pahalgam.
स्टेटहुड की बात हमने पहले भी की, आगे भी करेंगे, लेकिन लानत हो मुझ पे अगर मैं आज ये कह के मरकज के पास जाऊं कि ना अब 26 मर गए, अब दे दो.
Yet his own father, NC Patron, is willing to put their vested political interest before larger national interest.
When are they going to return the statehood? They said the minute you have elections, and government will be formed, state will be restored. What has happened to that? And what happened to the election? Now they are saying they're going to hold election to the 2 seats of the state assembly. What about Rajya Sabha? 4 seats. Why are they denying people right to get to that house to speak of their problems? What did they do in 6 years that made this state better?
They are the same politicians who demand that India continue talks with Pakistan.
We have a strong neighbor, whether it's China, whether it's Pakistan. Somehow we have to find a way out. War is not a way out. War has never been. Finally, you have to use pen. You have to discuss things on the table. How does it hurt us?
हम इज्जत से अमन चाहते हैं, हम दोस्ती से अमन चाहते हैं. अपने मुल्क को अगर आगे बढ़ना है तो जंग का राग छोड़ दो, बातचीत का राग अपना लो.
And it is also the demand of India's supposedly primary opposition party.
राहुल जी, दोनों एलओपी राहुल जी ने और खड़गे जी ने प्रधानमंत्री को खत लिखा है कि जम्मू और कश्मीर को पूरे राज्य का दर्जा फिर से वापस लौटाना चाहिए और लद्दाख में छठी अनुसूची है जो हमारे संविधान का, उसमें शामिल करना चाहिए ताकि कि नौकरशाही प्रणाली जो है लद्दाख में वो खत्म हो.
Can the national security be compromised when the legislative powers are already in place? Statehood has failed already in Jammu and Kashmir in the 1990s. Given the large scale of anti-terror operations across Jammu and Kashmir, OGW network still active. Pakistan trying very hard to push terrorists from across the border. Can the policy and public order be entrusted with the state government? Is it the right time for Jammu and Kashmir to get full statehood?
This is going to be terrible if the Modi government agrees to statehood for Jammu and Kashmir. It's going to be the worst thing that can happen to Jammu and Kashmir. It's the worst thing that can happen to the country. And I'm sure the Modi government will not do this. So I'd like to first ask Radhika Khera. Of the BJP, I welcome General Bakshi, I welcome Ratnakar Tripathi, Aditya Gupta of the PDP, and Dr. P. Zada, who's pro the J&K National Conference. Radhika Khera, this would be suicidal by the Modi government. Would the Modi government can the Modi government go so soft? So soft that it can undo whatever was gained in the abrogation of 370.
Arnab, statehood is not a favor. It is a democratic obligation, but it must be restored only after ensuring peace, normalcy, and irreversible integration with Bharat. There are many things that we have to keep into consideration. Now, on the 8th, as the Supreme Court is going to hear the plea on restoring the Jammu and Kashmir statehood, we should not forget that we are right now cleaning up a mess which has been created by the Congress and its dynasty, not just over decades, but from the very birth of the Kashmir issue. And let me begin with facts and from the history textbooks and Lutyens historians that have conveniently buried. In 1947, when Maharaja Hari Singh was ready to fully accede to India, Jawaharlal Nehru himself blocked it. There is another book that has recently been released on the Article 370, in which a newly uncovered letter from July 4th, 1947, I have the letter here, shows Nehru is about showing that Nehruji explicitly declined the Maharaja's plea. So the lie that Maharaja was dilly-dallying is now demolished by Nehru's own pen in this letter, which was hidden by the historians. Then came Article 370 and the constitutional disaster that insulated Kashmir from the rest of India. And going on further, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patelji, yes, the Iron Man of India, was deliberately cut out from the Kashmir.
Why are you allowing, 1 minute, I don't understand this. With the greatest of respect to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that we must have elections in Jammu and Kashmir. We had elections. And then there was Pahalgam. Now Supreme Court will say have statehood, give full powers to the Jammu and Kashmir police, let law and order in the most troubled state of the country come under Omar Abdullah. What do you want, a second Pahalgam?
Not at all.
Madness.
See, but we also have to...
No. There is the Supreme Court of India cannot decide how the country is to be run. The Supreme Court of India cannot decide where the army is to be placed. The Supreme Court of India, with all respect, cannot decide what powers the Rashtriya Rifles must have and what powers the J&K police must have. Because the Supreme Court of India does not have security experience and expertise. We already made the mistake by listening to the Supreme Court and coming under their pressure in August 2024 and then having an election. What did the election give us? Pahalgam? I'd like General Bakshi to come in. General Bakshi, what's happening here, you think?
You know, Arnab, what's happening here, what is even more important is what is about to happen. I hope the intelligence reports have been sent to the Supreme Court, which clearly states that 15 terror camps are being revived, including some which we had hit. Lots of money has been pumped in by the ISI. Lots of protection has been provided. They are being kept small-sized and dispersed so that they do not become prominent targets for our air. But the whole plan is to revive the terror circus in Jammu and Kashmir. So Operation Sindoor is still not over. You know, it's with great difficulty that we had pumped in a lot of troops into Jammu and Kashmir, increased the troop density and brought the the Kashmir valley under control.
No, but
unfortunately, at the same time...
What is the pressure here? Supreme Court's pressure? No, the Supreme Court's pressure? Are we coming under the Supreme Court's pressure? What is the need to come under this? We can tell the Supreme Court that we are not going to bring back statehood because of security reasons. Why do you have to keep saying, no, we will try? We won't. We don't need to. We've got to be firm about some things. Forget the pressure from any political party. Now, Ratnakar Tripathi, the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is not normal. Your argument would be that make it worse, right? The situation is very, very sensitive. Pakistan will try its very best to destabilize things in Jammu and Kashmir. Do you think Jammu and Kashmir should be left in the hands of the J&K police? Would you, or for that matter, anyone on the program, including Mr. Pirzada, including Aditya, say that you will feel more secure if the army pulls back and the Jammu and Kashmir police with its great expertise is allowed to have a free run? Mr. Tripathi.
First of all, my heartfelt condolence to the torchbearer of truth and courage, Chaudhry Satpal Malik, who passed away. And now, Dr. Goswami, I think I listened to you, and while I was listening to you, I thought had I closed my eyes, I would have just listened to the new Hitler. You want to scrap every democratic process. You want to scrap Supreme Court. You want to scrap...
I have respect for the Supreme Court, which said that your leader is not a true Indian.
You are interrupting.
The Supreme Court said yesterday Rahul Gandhi is not behaving like a true Indian.
Sir, so shall I keep mum?
No, I just responded.
Again, I'm saying this is your show. You have all the opportunity.
No, of course it's my show, but Supreme Court said that Rahul Gandhi is not behaving like a true Indian. I agree with the Supreme Court.
In the government, you want that everything should be centralized in the Narendra Modi's hand. That is all. He should decide what to do in the country or not.
I want my army to be given a free run.
Just saying that.
And there is a constant threat from Pakistan. 80% of terrorists who left in Kashmir are from Pakistan who are left there.
Please don't interrupt. That is what Karan Singh ji said in an interview. That my father got to this position just because he wanted, we were not very educated. So the Bengalis would have taken over. We didn't have money in that. So the Punjabis would have taken over. That is why the Article 370 and the special status was given to J&K.
It was a temporary provision. Article 370 was a temporary provision. It was not a long-term provision. You are fully aware of that. It was never meant to stay. And I oppose. You say that I'm agreeing with the government. I'm saying on record, if the government brings back statehood in Jammu and Kashmir, I will be the loudest person to oppose it.
Dr. Goswami, you asked me to say something and then you jump in between. That is not good. The whole narrative you said earlier was just scrap everything. Since 5th August 2019 to 18 September 2024 when the elections were held. Rather say October, 3rd October, when that was completed and the state government came in. There were 14 attacks and 78 people died there. Who was responsible for that?
I don't know. I've just got breaking news right now from our reporter Gursimran. Let me tell you this. Gursimran says that there has been unprovoked cross-border firing by Pakistan in Poonch in the line of control. The firing has been reported in Mankot sector of Poonch. The incident is reported around 6:30 p.m. when Pakistan fired at an Indian post in Mankot. The source of the fire was retaliated effectively by Indian Army troops. Firing went on for over 15 minutes along the line of control, and this is the first incident of unprovoked firing from Pakistan on Indian positions post-Operation Sindoor Aditya. I mean, you guys should be really realistic out here. I know that everybody wants a slice of power, but you can't have statehood in Jammu and Kashmir at this sensitive time, especially given the breaking news I just shared with you.
Yeah, Arnab, I was listening to your 10 pointers about not giving the state to Jammu and Kashmir. The pointer number 1 was national security. Let me put it in perspective very clearly. The security of Jammu and Kashmir is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. There's a Lieutenant Governor who runs and controls the police. Pahalgam happened under his watch. He owned the responsibility, still he's sitting on the chair. There was no head stopper, no accountability set as far as Pahalgam is concerned. The security of Jammu and Kashmir has been with the central government since 2019.
So you think Omar Abdullah police will be better?
No.
You think Omar Abdullah police will safeguard Kashmir better?
Listen, as far as the second thing...
No, answer my question. Do you feel Omar Abdullah's police will safeguard the security interests of Jammu and Kashmir better?
It is not about Omar Abdullah. It is not about any other political party. It's about the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir police has sacrificed as many soldiers as many soldiers as any other armed force in Jammu and Kashmir fighting the militancy. There's a record. So many young officers have laid their life.
When Farooq Abdullah, 1 minute. I'll ask you a question. I'll ask Pirzada a question.
Yes.
See, you said. Farooq Abdullah said, what did the government do in the last 5 years, 6 years? I'm saying, what did the National Conference do? What did PDP do? When the Kashmiris were being targeted, Farooq Abdullah fled to London. Pirzada knows that. When there was an exodus, when the streets of the valley echoed with slogans from loudspeakers in mosques, when Hindus were being told, you convert or die, Farooq Abdullah fled to London. Now his son says, give me full control of the state. Why?
Mr. Arnab, thank you for having me. I hope this could be again a good meeting between you and me and with the other co-panelists. I have all regard and respect for all these people. Let me put some bare facts into a correct perspective. Firstly, I may clarify that I am a supporter of the government for some obvious reasons, because we have a public government after a long time. People were very desperate to have a popular government in place. So I am a supporter of this government because we have many issues. Those could be only settled and addressed only by the popular government. Now, the fact is that question number 1, as you said in the beginning, that whether state could be restored or not. I clear it in terms of the Supreme Court observations, because there is nothing about the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the last ultimate authority, judicial authority in the country. I have all regards and respects for the Supreme Court. The God will not descend from the skies to administer justice. It is the Supreme Court Chief Justice and his other fellows, other judges in the Supreme Court who administer justice. The Solicitor General put an assurance before the Supreme Court last time. I speak in terms of law and in terms of judicial decisions. That otherwise the decision of the Supreme Court would have surely impinged upon the revocation of 370. But upon the assurance of the Solicitor General, it was taken on record that Supreme Court said that state be restored as early as possible. There's the Latin phrase.
That is where the point is. Mr. Pirzada, last time the Modi government came under pressure from the Supreme Court. No, last time, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Last time, the problem is governments are also capable of making mistakes. the Narendra Modi government made the mistake of coming under pressure from the Supreme Court, and it said, we will have elections in Jammu and Kashmir. What did that bring? Do you see the pictures from the Jammu and Kashmir assembly where everybody is beating each other up, where separatist, anti-national comments are being made? What did it bring to the people of Jammu and Kashmir? What did it bring to the people of the country? Pahalgam? Be realistic out here. Be realistic. Don't be selfish.
Is the ultimate party. Supreme Court adjudicators. Even the Supreme Court, there are many pronouncements where the death sentences are pronounced. Are those death sentences questionable? No, not at all. We submit before the Supreme Court, before the will and orders of the Supreme Court.
Anyway, after Pahalgam, it sounds absurd to say. I mean, today, after Pahalgam, the Modi government even considers, or on the 8th, makes a statement in the Supreme Court that we are considering statehood for Jammu and Kashmir, there will be national outrage. Radhika, let me tell you this. People will say, what is going on? Is this why our soldiers lay down their lives? Is this the result of 26 people being butchered, made to read the Kalma in Pahalgam, and now you say we're going to reward Omar Abdullah with statehood because he goes jogging everywhere? We have to be real about it. You see, the Abdullahs play a double game, Radhika.
Absolutely. Arnab, I need to make three things very clear. Here, the Congress spokesperson talked about he was paying homage to Mr. Satpal Malik. He's open to do that, but Mr. Satpal Malik went on record to say that he lied about the Home Minister saying something to him, Amit Shah ji, and he took his words back. Having said that, under Prime, and when the Abdullahs talk about what has the country gained under the centre's leadership, well, under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, here's what has happened. There has been record polling in DDC elections. Terror incidents went down by 70%. 370 was removed by a single bullet fired. Over 1.3 lakh crore investments have inflown in, and 40,000 plus jobs and booming tourism. Yes, there was Pahalgam, and there are certain things that need to be sorted out. But let me say this very clearly. Our government has not and will not succumb to any pressure. We always respect the constitution and the judiciary. We are unlike the Congress that has repeatedly subverted institutions for their dynasty rule. And as far as the statehood is concerned, the Prime Minister promised in
All
Parliament
this is there, but are you actually considering statehood? Why can't you be firm? What happened to the... You see, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. In second term, a strong BJP removes 370. You say it is a tough decision. People, your core voter base supports you. Republic supports you. All right-thinking people of the country support you. Now, have you gone soft? Have you gone soft now? Have you gone soft now? Has the government gone soft? Why is the government not saying categorically, we will not give statehood, we will not compromise on security?
We will not compromise on security, but we will give and we will deliver what we have promised.
Did you promise when you removed 370 that it would slowly start bringing back some of the provisions after a few years? Is that what you promised?
No, we will. Please, restoration, please make no mistake. Restoration does not mean that Article 370 will be restored or they will be returned to dynastic blackmail or separatist appeasement. The Prime Minister's leadership, Narendra Modi ji, has created a Kashmir which is where a schoolgirl can...
You allowed elections in Jammu and Kashmir. You allowed separatists to fight the elections. You allowed an anti-national person to come out of jail, fight an election. Today he abuses India every day in the Jammu and Kashmir National Assembly. You allowed soft separatist Omar Abdullah to become chief minister. Now Omar Abdullah is doing his usual Abdullah family wooing of the Modi government, and you are getting swayed with that. You are about to compromise once again under pressure from the Supreme Court. What happened to the tough BJP we used to know? Why has the BJP gone soft? I mean, why did you have to placate the Gupkar gang? You arrested them one day, then you went soft. And you released them the next day. And then you told them, go fight the elections. Then you called them for talks. What happened to the BJP?
Arnab, we are very clear about one constitution, one flag, one Bharat. And there is no going back. We are not going to go back on reverse gear.
I don't want symbolism here. Are you telling me that within 100 days of Pahalgam, you want to restore statehood to Jammu and Kashmir? Why?
No, we are not restoring statehood right now. Listen, until there is peace, until there is progress, until there is zero terrorism, statehood will not be restored, but statehood...
But you are coming under pressure from the Supreme Court.
Absolutely not. If we were coming under pressure, we would have restored statehood. We are very clear that until and unless, see, like I said, the Prime Minister has made a promise, it will be fulfilled. Like we promised, the 370 will be removed. And we will ensure that Kashmir, there is normalcy. You can go out in Kashmir to Lal Chowk and have an ice cream, lehrao the Tiranga, which could not be done under the Congress's rule. But today,
Statehood is not a constitutional prerogative at this point of time. But my concern is that sometimes the BJP goes soft. I'm being very frank about it. Sometimes the BJP goes soft. You went soft on the Gupkar gang without any ostensible reason. GD Bakshi.
You know, Arnab, we have seen a tendency that since the governor's rule came into Jammu and Kashmir, there has been a great amount of urgency to try and show that normalcy has totally returned, right? And one of the factors for trying to project an image of normalcy has been get the army out. That gives control, that gives an impression that the military is still needed. Everything has turned hunky-dory normal. So kick the army out to, push them into the background. The new police chief there wants to teach the army how to fight. And he says he doesn't need the army. That was what it was. And frankly, some of our old veterans were saying, please get Guru Bachan Jagat back. Right? Now the point is, if you at this dangerous juncture uncover, you want to lose everything that you have gained. We have worked so hard to gain. Removal of Article 370 was most essential requirement. It ended all bloody ambiguity in the minds of the Kashmiri population that one fine day India will just get up and walk away. Or, one fine day the sky will become the limit and we will give them everything that they want. We have clearly told the rest of the world, go climb a gum tree. Kashmir is India's and it will forever remain a part of India. There is no bloody question of any dilution of our stand or status. And to hell with 370, that was the source of the problem. Mehbooba Mufti's government, when they were in power, when they used to encourage stone pelting, in the evenings, their state minions and municipal corporation people used to assemble all the stones thrown, give it back to the stone pelters. Hasn't all that nonsense been stopped? It's only when we start weakening, and our will starts to weaken, that we start making compromises which can be
disastrous. In fact, I say more powers.
Which can set us back.
I said there's more powers, you see, we must not trust the Omar Abdullah Congress governments because they have enough work to do. I mean, the agriculture has gone for a toss in Jammu and Kashmir, Ratnakar Tripathi. The public debt is very bad. Public health and sanitation has become worse. Hospitals, dispensaries, what is under the Omar Abdullah government has gone to the dogs. And now you say no, hand over security to them? Hand over the entire state to them? No, I don't think you're being reasonable here. You're being political.
Omar Abdullah government hasn't completed an year yet, Dr. Goswami. And BJP
so they've done enough harm in less than that time.
The government.
Yeah.
Pahalgam is the failure of central government, not Omar Abdullah government.
It's not his achievement either. It's not his achievement either.
Again, you are interrupting, sir. Listen to that Gujarati lady who says, when I went down and asked the army person, he please come upstairs, upward. And look, there people are dying there. He said, "Su kam farwa jao cho tame? Upar ghumne jate hi kyun ho tum log?"
Yeah, also here, Shubham Dwivedi's wife. Also here, Shubham Dwivedi's wife who came here. Also here, Shubham Dwivedi's wife who came to my office and she said there was a lot of local support for the terrorists. And she said not a single person out there helped us. Not a single local helped us. Here, Shubham Dwivedi's wife. It's not the secular kind of stuff, is it? What did Shubham Dwivedi's wife say? Did any local help her? Did you hear that? You create this narrative of locals coming and helping the people who were fired on by the terrorists, then open your ears and listen to what Shubham Dwivedi's wife said.
Hold your horses, Dr. Goswami.
What horses? I have no horses to hold. You have your lies to stop. What did Shubham Dwivedi's wife say?
Police service.
What did Shubham Dwivedi's wife say? Did locals help her? Did any local help Shubham Dwivedi's wife?
Dr. Goswami.
Did any local help Shubham Dwivedi's wife in Pahalgam in the immediate aftermath of the terrorist attack? Why are you gulping? You don't want to accept the reality, no?
You are deviating.
Yeah, right.
You are maligning the image of Indian Police Service.
Even Operation Mahadev.
The people who are in the control of police there.
Local who were supplying.
Anyway, I hope the Modi government doesn't go soft and offer statehood on a platter to anyone, especially not this particular government. Ladies and gentlemen, the other big story tonight is that Anil Ambani is in big, huge trouble. He's been questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. Whole day he was going in and out. This is a massive loan fraud case. Apparently, there's been a lot of number playing around, and based on pure numbers, Republic will take you through the loan trails for 3 of his entities that have now invited the investigation of the Enforcement Directorate.
Industrialist Anil Ambani appeared before the ED regarding questioning in lieu of an ongoing money laundering case. The central agency is questioning Anil Ambani and 2 of his top executives in a multi-thousand crore rupees fraud case. With his first appearance, Republic has accessed key loan files that are under the ED scanner. 3 companies, 59 hefty loans, and 39 top banks under lens. This is the anatomy of an alleged scam worth thousands of crores. The loan files indicate that Anil Ambani had taken loans from 39 banks for his companies, and the highest loan was taken from the Life Insurance Corporation of India for ARCOM, which stands at Rs 4,758 crores. Major lenders include Yes Bank, State Bank of India, Punjab and Sindh Bank, and HDFC. A loan sheet of Reliance Communications has an outstanding of Rs 20,370 crore from all banks. The loan sheet of Reliance Home Finance Limited highlights an outstanding loan of Rs 5,900 crores, and the highest amount towards this loan was disbursed by Yes Bank. While Reliance Commercial Finance Limited's loan sheet revealed an outstanding of Rs 8,226 crores. ED investigation suggests that RCFL and RHFL have primarily been used to divert the funds.
Today in National Capital, Anil Ambani, ADA Group Chairman, was called for a statement in the ongoing PMLA probe. The probe in this matter covers 3 major cases. The first about a quid pro quo with the Yes Bank, in which the ED alleges that a quid pro quo occurred before Yes Bank sanctioned Rs 3,000 crore loans. The second, it's about a forged bank guarantee statement which was issued to attain a tender for SECI. And the third, it's about ARCOM, that ARCOM received loan amount from several banks, but around 12,000 crore rupees were used for the purpose not aligned with the terms and conditions for the banks.
The loan scam centers its investigation on the loans that were disbursed by multiple banks to the Ambani group of companies between 2017 and 2019. The ED suspects that a portion of these funds may have been illegally diverted. With Republic now uncovering the Anil Ambani loan files, were entities being used to pump and dump funds?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the question is, how is this happening? This was supposed to stop. So, Brashta and Manish Bariyar, this was supposed to stop from 2014 onwards. We were told that things have changed. Now, this is a case like a Vijay Mallya kind of case, a Nirav Modi case. How did this happen even after the change of government in the centre? Is Anil Ambani's loan files, the Anil Ambani loan files, the Anil Ambani scandal, #Anil Ambani scandal, has happened after 2014, largely between 2016 and 2019. How are these loans being given to Anil Ambani? On what basis? What's the possible explanation? What are the larger questions which emerge? Subrashta, you want to start, on this. How is this even allowed?
You can also add that what is the connection between Anil Ambani and the Rafale?
I will ask the question I want, Mr. Jinping. Let Subrashta open the innings. Yeah, Subrashta.
Yes, Arnab, good evening. I think if one were to take cue from what Vivek Srivastav is saying, one should actually investigate and pause and look at where have we been going wrong. India does not have a defense infrastructure and architecture which is at par with how we have really wanted to achieve a certain minimum targets. The Rafale deal controversy has happened because the Indian government chose Reliance Defense. Now, this was a company that was set up by Anil Ambani's Reliance Group as an offset partner to Dassault.
Yes,
Now,
12 days old company.
of course, it has raised questions because Reliance Defense has no prior experience. But my question to you, Arnab, is nobody will have prior expertise in anything. So unless and until we as a nation, we as an economy, and start getting a little, ahead of the entrepreneurial curve, it's not going to happen. Having said that, wait a second, Vivek Srivastava, let me finish. Having said that, the kind of half truths that have emerged in that situation so far goes on to show that there's something fundamentally wrong and something fundamentally flawed in the system of giving loans, of choosing these enterprises, and that has to be strengthened. It will happen by allowing a two-pronged approach.
Now,
one is the bureaucratic.
One minute, Vivek. Let's look at the questions here, all right? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. My question is, Reliance Communications Arcom's loan sheet shows an outstanding of 373 crore from 20 banks. But importantly, LIC, Santosh Mehrotra, LIC alone has disbursed 4,758 crores. Now, who has it given this loan to? What is the collateral? How did a telecom company, which is teetering with losses, secure such massive sums from a state-owned insurer? It's a state-owned insurer. I'm not talking about Yes Bank here. I'm not talking about others. I'm saying there is the lenders include State Bank of India, Punjab and Sindh Bank. I'm not talking about Yes Bank. I'm not talking about HDFC. I'm talking about LIC, SBI, Punjab and Sindh Bank. I'm talking about the fleecing of public institutions. Santosh Mehrotra, please.
Arnab, the only thing that occurs to my mind, I can't speak on the basis of facts here because the facts are not on the public domain. So the only thing that occurs to one's mind is that there were payments made which were undisclosed to the public sector company. That's what it seems. Because we've already seen that in the case of this ADAC, it had already it had received a write-off of about 40,000 crores from banks, and now we have a case of not mere default, not mere willful default, but a case of fraud, which is the third stage that a bank reaches when it's done some investigations and decided that it's not just a default or a willful default. There's a case of, because obviously a significant amount of bank level investigations have already taken place. And clearly payoffs were being made both to the Yes Bank, and it's likely that they were made even to the LIC. It's possible, highly probable, in fact, possible.
But why wake up to it so late, Manish Bariyad? Why wake up to it so late? Is the government, through the ED, distancing itself from Anil Ambani now for any specific reason? Because Anil Ambani has also pushed this card, apparently, allegedly. It's been rumored, spoken about, closeness to government. So is the government sort of distancing itself from Anil Ambani, seeing that this is really going to go down deep? Anil Ambani is going to get into trouble. The government wants to move away from him right in time.
Good evening to you.
Otherwise, why is this investigation happening only now?
It is absolutely not. If you look at the government has been pretty, in fact, straightforward right from since it started. It is this government which has really cleaned up the rot which UPA left. At that time, there was no laws. IBC was not there. You didn't have RERA, real estate. The government fixed it. There were so many. Even Vijay Mallya was the first person who got into this Fugitive Offenders Act. So the government during UPA they had completely left the corporates to do corruption, move out of this country. But this is the government, if you look at the track record in last 10 years, it has plugged many of the loopholes.
No, what was RBI doing? I'm asking you here, I'm asking, what was RBI doing? See, there has to be some level of oversight. Yes Bank had its own crisis in governance. And I am pretty much good at these subjects, Manish. You know, I exposed DHFL. I've exposed India Bulls. I know how this world works. But Yes Bank had its own crisis in governance, but it emerged as the largest lender across all these entities. Why was RBI silent? Did RBI not know about these sanctions, about these clearances? Was RBI sleeping?
When Yes Bank got into this entire, when RBI intervened, these 3,000 crore loans was given before that. So the entire muck started from that point, and after that, Yes.
No, Reliance Mutual Fund is under CBI scrutiny for allegedly investing 2,850 crore of public money, people's money, in Yes Bank's 81 bonds dubbed perpetual fixed deposit, raising suspicions of quid pro quo. These are known reports. These bonds were later written off, and this is what leads to massive investor losses. My only question is, abhi achanak kyun? ये सब तो 7, 8, 10 सालों से हो रहा है, मनीष जी. What has suddenly happened?
नहीं, if you look at the Arnab, ये अगर आप देखें तो last 2-3 years when all these things started coming up, the government has been actually following it. So
no, but government did not know. Government did not know. Government knows that he is the partner to Rafale. Government did not know that RCFL and RHFL have been accused by the ED to divert funds. This is called pump and dump. What was SEBI doing? What was RBI doing? High volume, rapid capital flows. What does it indicate? You don't have to be a Sherlock Holmes.
No, Arnab, these are other visuals. I would admit that, you know, there has been some lapses.
No, lapses nahi. I'm saying one minute. Manish, listen. Now you see this, you know, RHFL, which has got money, has 3 registered employees. It's a skeleton company. No operational backbone. How did it get 5,900 crore in funding?
Now, see, it could be a clear case of personal failures and corruption.
But even Vijay Mallya says personal failure, I should not be... Vijay Mallya's argument is exactly that I should not be attacked for failing in my business.
No, absolutely not. What I am saying is that what government has done it. You know, the government has been after this entity to ensure that such kind of activities...
No, there are larger questions. I am happy that...
What government can do primarily is to ensure that someone has done a wrongdoing.
No, not someone. In our country, a 55-year-old farmer in Tamil Nadu died out of suicide because he could not pay a 4 lakh loan collateral back. He killed himself.